The North. Known for its industry, hard-working and innovative people, we are the engineers of the past and always look for solutions for the future. Our creative North wants to celebrate that and show the world what we can do. Hi and welcome to another edition of our Creative North. My name is James Ellis and we've got a fantastic episode. We send our young pioneer, who's Megan Lyth, along to Seoul to meet Joe, where they create some costumes for museums and props and films and things. And then our business of the week is Flux Digital, based right in the heart of Newcastle. But first up, let's see how Megan got along at Seoul.
So, we're off to Seoul, Alter, Make and Create, which has been going for 2 years and based in the centre of Newcastle.
Hi, my name's Megan Lyth. I have been helping Joe and Anna out at Seoul, making costumes for their expedition at the museum. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Hi, I'm Joe.
I'm doing some sewing today.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Basically we're going to do one of our final costumes for the Great Northern Museum, which is this caterpillar.
Yeah.
And we've already cut the fabric, so it's got orange spots which we will sew on later. And we will start threading a sewing machine with you.
Okay.
So we do need to sew those green pads here. And I'll just go and get one. So it's basically just sewing straight lines for you for now.
Yeah.
And so it goes all the way down. So we need to thread the machine with the dark green. Start with our fabric on this side, and with as little fabric as possible on this side. So that's up, and put the foot down, and put the needle down on here. Right, so this is the back stitch. So we're sewing a little bit forward, then go back and then forward again. That's called anchoring the stitch.
Okay. Give it a go.
You give it a go. And the back stitch. Brilliant. Pedal it will go faster, but if you don't feel confident to go fast, you can go slow again. I think it's quite a good machine for doing that, and you can regulate your speed. And at the end you do with a back stitch again to anchor the stitch. Okay, back stitch. Well, I've started I've started to sew about 10 years ago, and I learned sewing in an evening class at the college, and then taught myself bits and pieces, and started a degree in costume design 6 years ago. Finished 4 years ago, 2 years after I started. And I met Anna at the degree in Hartlepool at the Cleveland College of Art and Design, and we both after worked in different alteration shops, doing alterations there, working for other people, and decided that we can actually work for ourselves and be more creative, just working for ourselves and living what we've actually trained at. Probably so far the most exciting work we did was for Newcastle City Council, creating the costumes for the rugby-themed New Year's Eve parade, which was quite a big order for such a reasonably new business. in the area. We did about 150 dress-up costumes for people and some bigger structures, which then were on show at the actual parade in Newcastle, which was quite scary and it was quite exciting to do. Well, you're pretty much a natural, Megan. Did you sew before?
I haven't sewn since I was in school, really.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, but my mum's a good sewer, so.
Right.
Yeah. How long have you been sewing for?
Well, I've learned sewing when probably about 10 years ago,
Oh, okay.
and started off with a course at Kenton College,
Yeah.
and then pretty much self-taught for the rest of it, and with lots of books and
Yeah.
some classes.
Do you teach
After.
anybody? Do you?
No, we don't, but we've just done a qualification to do outdoor education.
Oh, okay.
So we will start teaching in September when the students are back and when people, like when the next school year starts again.
To be honest, I actually really wanted to be a fashion designer.
Hey!
But for the reason that I couldn't use a sewing machine, I was like, and I can't draw either. So.
Yeah, that's so disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they didn't take you?
No, wasn't good enough. But it's quite therapeutic actually. Just sat there on the machine, yeah. It's really good. I'm gonna take away the ability to sew because I did do it when I was about 11, but I completely forgot. So using both sewing machines was really interesting, and kind of just knowing that you can create whatever as long as you put your mind to it. I'll definitely continue sewing in the future because it's, like I said, very therapeutic, and this has been very inspirational to me.
I think that's pretty impressive for somebody who hasn't sewn since they're 11.
Thank you.
Are you going to change career now?
Yeah, I'm gonna come work here instead actually.
No.
Is that alright?
Yeah, let's have a look
Yeah.
and show it to Anna. If you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that up to standard?
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Cool.
You've sewn this. Now I'm going to show you how it's started out, because it didn't start out like this, didn't
Yeah.
it? It started out like 2 layers of fabric, which need to be sewn together. So if we take the pins out of this, we now need to cut a piece of material the same size as this.
Right, okay.
So in order for our material not to move, we need to pin those 2 layers together.
Yeah.
Right, do you want to cut?
Yeah. Just along there.
Yeah. Now we've got those 3 layers together, and that's basically what I did before it ended up like this.
Right.
So your next task is to sew this together in the same way as you did this. And then
Okay.
we've got 2 fronts for the caterpillars,
Yeah.
and I think then it's lunchtime. So what do you think about sewing?
Yeah. It's fun actually. When I
Yeah.
first came in, I was like, oh no. But yeah.
We're really quite apprehensive about
Yeah.
it, yeah. Yeah.
But it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Actually.
It is quite scary. I always found, you know, when I had sewing at school, when I was
Yeah.
probably about your age, you had some sewing probably about 10, 11.
Yeah.
And I just found it really scary to be in a sewing machine. We had this old treadle sewing machine, so it was like even worse, you know, than this one.
Yeah.
And only when you kind of did managed to sew on the treadle machine, you could then go on the very one and only electric machine, and I was never really good. And so I've never done any sewing until I was an adult.
Oh, okay. That's quite interesting, because normally you pick it up, don't you?
Yeah.
When you're younger. But
Yeah. I think Anna did when she was very young. Her mother taught her to sew, and then she'd done it ever since.
It's amazing some of the creative things that are done up here in the north. And Megan's just getting a little taste of that. After the break, we've got our business of the week, which is Flux Media. So don't miss out.
So the business of the week this week is Flux Media, a marketing company based right in the heart of Newcastle.
Liam Rushforth, I'm the Managing Director of Flux Media. So Flux Media is a platform whereby advertisers can buy digital out-of-home signage programmatically. So traditionally, out-of-home advertising, so these like the paper and paste billboards, they get sold in 2-week slots. So what we're doing is applying some of the technology used in online advertising to the digital out-of-home screens, so that these are more reactive to the environment.
My co-founder and I studied at Newcastle University and have been toying with startups during our course. So we've also been spending a lot of time around Ignite and the entrepreneur community around Newcastle. So afterwards we came to the program with an idea we'd been working on in uni called Nifty. That wasn't working out quite so well when we got here, but Ignite recognized our team and thought we might be able to solve another problem. So through that we sort of came up with Flux, and that's what we did today.
So we graduated from Newcastle University, both of us, about this time last year. Since then we'd started a company during university called Nifty, which was just like a social wish list app, but we'd done it throughout university, and we tried it a little bit after uni, but it didn't really go very far. And that's when we came to Ignite, and they were like, okay, so that's not really worked out, but what else could you do? If you want to fix problems, think of another problem, get another problem and go for it. And that's how we came up with Flux. And then we've just kind of ridden the accelerator, which has been quite an intense process, but it's given us really good fundamental knowledge of the industry and what our product exactly is. I think the best moment was when we expected to do something completely for free, and actually the customer was like, actually no, we will pay you for this and we'll give you kind of what you wanted. So we're like, oh, all right, okay. That was quite a good one, as well as kind of working with them as well. Then when they were saying they kind of want to roll out our technology onto all of their screens, that was quite a good one. Bad ones, we just, I think, at the very beginning when we didn't really know what we were doing or what it was going to be. I really love working in the Northeast. I think ever since we came here 5 years ago for our degrees, we kind of fell in love with the city, and we've just wanted to stay here ever since. I think that's why we tried to find a way to stay in Newcastle, which we've managed, hopefully.
So we work in Campus North, and it's quite a large community of entrepreneurs in the region. So sort of a day-to-day of coming in, getting what you need to get done, but around other companies. So sort of a case of you go for lunch or you go to the coffee machine, you're talking to other people, doing other things, and it's quite a good place to work. Because we're working in this community area of Newcastle, you get people coming in every day with new ideas about businesses they want to start, asking you questions about your business that maybe you hadn't thought about before. And you're also working around a lot of other businesses that are, be it at earlier stage than you, or have done things that you're going to do and can point out pitfalls. So it's really helpful. It's a great place to work.
I've always really liked the advertising world. So any kind of creative advertising I always kind of try and gauge inspiration from that, I guess. But it's this whole place is very it's very creative and the other companies that you see working here, often they've got other ideas that, because they're working in a completely different industry, they'll just say something from a different perspective, and that often gives you another kind of, well, what if we tied that with this, and then it could work like that. So I think, this space is great for creativity.
Using technology to enable new things in the world we live in, really. So what Flux does is it takes something that's already out there and just makes it different, like more impressive. You look at an ad, and instead of thinking, oh yeah, that's just be put there because someone paid for it, it's like, that ad is actually something that would help me at this point in time, is really what we're doing. So just any technology that enables something exciting that needs to be done.
So that's another fantastic company set right here in the north. Now Megan went along to meet Jo from So, who creates costumes professionally, and she's going to have a little talk about how she got in the industry and how well her business is doing.
My name is Jo, and I am a co-member and co-founder of So Automate Create, and business partner is called Anna. We are a sewing business, creating anything from costumes to replicas of costumes, and we teach workshops and alter clothing. We are both relatively new to the industry. I'm only doing, personally started on my own, and so did Anna, doing a sewing business and alteration business for a while on our own. And about 2 years ago, Anna asked me if I would join forces with her to develop a business plan for an alteration shop and making costumes and creating props for whoever needed or wanted some. Well, I've started to sew about 10 years ago, and I learned sewing in an evening class at the college, and then taught myself bits and pieces, and started a degree in costume design 6 years ago, and finished 4 years ago, 2 years after I started. And I met Anna at the degree in Hartlepool at the Cleveland College of Art and Design, and we both after worked in different alteration shops, doing alterations there, working for other people, and decided that we can actually work for ourselves and be more creative, just working for ourselves and living what we've actually trained at. I think working for yourself is quite a big part of this, and knowing that people are relying on us to make good quality work and deliver the costumes we've agreed to make. So that gets me out and going. I do like creating. I've always liked creating, and I've developed that over the last few years, making costumes, making dresses, and it was quite an interesting journey so far.
Am I okay to try this on?
Absolutely. This is our Victoriana costume.
Yeah.
Do you want this? And the corset goes with it.
Okay then.
Right? I'll just take it off and you can try it on.
Thank you very much.
Changing room's over there.
Thank you.
I think Megan was quite a natural. She did both front pieces for a Caterpillar for our present commission, for the Great North Museum, and I would say she had great fun doing so.
I walked in quite anxious because I didn't know what was going to go on, but no, it went really well. Like, I got my sewing skills back. My favourite costume had to be the wasp. It was so comfy. There is a lot more skill involved in sewing than I thought. You know, you have to think through everything from design to the way you're kind of going to build it, then what threads you're going to use, which stitch you're going to use. So yeah, it's a lot more complicated than I thought. Today has definitely been worth it. It's been different and a challenge.
And what a challenge sewing is. All patches and whatnot. Now off to James, who will finish us off.
So that's another edition of our Creative North, all done and dusted with, and it is amazing some of the people that we have who do creative works up here. So a big thanks to Joe, Megan, and the guys at Flux Media, and see you next week.